This is the 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee L Summit Reserve. Is it worth your consideration? Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. Today I'm in North Bossier at Landers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. That is a lot to say, but that's where I am today. I'm only going to say that one time in this video. But we're going to take an up-close look, an in-depth look at this Jeep Grand Cherokee L. For a three-row midsize, it might have some features and functionality that may surprise you. We'll show you all of that as we get through the video. If you want to know more, check out the link down in the description of the video. And in a lot of ways, it looks like a smaller version. I dare not say mini because it's not a lot smaller than the Jeep Wagoneer. But if you're not needing a full-size three-row SUV, this is definitely something to consider. We're going to have full LED lighting here on the front end with the LED headlights, LED daytime running lights, even LED turn signals. So for those of you who ask about that, yes, they are there and you should use them. We'll also have our fog lights right down here. And while you have a lot that looks functional here, not everything is. Some is, some isn't, but you know what? It's here, it looks decent. Gloss black, well, have to see how that stands up over time, but it definitely gives it a nice, elegant look. You know it's a Jeep when you look at the front end, not only because of that logo right there, but because of the way the grille is designed, just that iconic look that goes with this vehicle. One thing that's going to be different for 2024, I know we're late in the year when I made this video, but the majority of the trim levels for 2024 with the Grand Cherokee L are going to come with four-wheel drive. Now this model is going to have the optional tires on it. These are not the tires that normally come on this model. So we're going to have 275 with our width, the 45 series sidewall wrapped around the 21-inch wheels. You do have a spare tire located underneath the rear of the vehicle. Turn signal indicators built into the power adjustable, heated. And you're going to have your blind spot monitoring in your mirrors right there, and they are also power folding. So let me do one thing here. And the reason I wanted to turn that dinging off is I wanted to show you the power folding functionality in action. So how did I do that? Here's your control for controlling the positioning of your side view mirror. If you twist it all the way down like I just did right there, that's how you do that. Otherwise, we're going to be adjusting our side view mirror positioning. So quite a few nice features here. Beyond that, the gloss black and body colored door handles. You're going to have the lock right here, a physical lock, so if the battery dies, your remote, you don't have to worry about that, no big deal. Speaking of the remote, there it is. A nice look, it's compact, it has everything that I think a lot of you are going to want, especially that remote start feature. And I like the contrast here between the white and the black with the roof line up there being black. We'll also have those nice roof rails up there. You can get yourself some crossbars and increase your cargo capacity. We'll have the rear roof spoiler finishing things off here, your rear window wiper, and your tail lights. A very nice look overall. But the main thing that I know a lot of people want to know about, what's under the hood? Let's talk about that. Under the hood is the 3.6 liter V6. It puts out 295 horsepower and 260 pounds-feet of torque, mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. What about your MPGs? Let's go over here and see what the window sticker tells us. We're looking at 18 city, 25 highway, 21 combined, and 4.8 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. If you're curious to know, let's see what happens here. We're going to have capless fuel fill with your gas tank, and when you fill up, you're going to have a 23-gallon gas tank. And when we do, that's how everything looks with maximized cargo capacity. Now, let's see if I can get underneath here and show you what you have with the floor. By the way, this floor is removable as far as this area. You have a little bit of space underneath. And to gain access to your spare tire, you remove that. There's a bolt underneath there that you turn, and you'll use the tire iron to do that. And that's how you're going to lower the spare tire down. If anybody wants to see a video on how to do that on this Grand Cherokee L, tell me down in the comments section. Now, one thing I do think would be useful as far as an addition goes, you have cargo lighting right here. I think you should also have it over here somewhere. I realize there's a lot of space taken up by the buttons and the 12-volt power outlet right there, but somehow I bet Jeep could engineer that in. A lot of space back here, that's for sure. And I do like the fact that you have lighting up here. Maybe that would help to light this area a little bit. I don't think it really will, but it will light the area behind right here, give you some additional lighting. Still need some interior lighting, although you could have the kids turn that light on right there. So there is some additional lighting back here. Now, one thing to note, I know out of habit, a lot of the time I'm looking up here for the buttons to close this power tailgate. That's not typical of these Jeep SUVs. The button is located right there, and you push that button, it's going to give you a few warning beeps, and then it's going to close. And one more thing, I don't know how well I can show this to you. Here is the button that I used to open the tailgate. If I wanted to close the tailgate and lock the vehicle, you heard the horn honk right there? That means I lock the vehicle with that button. Just one of those little things you might wonder about that's going to be here. The exterior color here is called bright white. The interior is Tupelo and black. Let's take a look at what we're going to find beyond a very nice, elegant look. Not something you might expect to find with a Jeep Grand Cherokee, but yet it is here. Got our nice design here within the door panel as far as the stitching goes. The armrests are nice and big. Now, you do have some gloss black here. I know that's meant to bring a little bit of elegance to the party, so to speak, but it also brings fingerprints. That's the only downside to the gloss black or piano black finish. But something that is interesting, I haven't seen in very many vehicles at all, is that you can lock and unlock the doors from these rear doors on both sides. Plenty of space in here within the door bin, bottle holder right here. And one thing I did earlier is I preset the seats here so I could show you how far the seats can move forward to increase leg space for rear seat passengers. That's always a nice bonus. We're also going to have the panoramic sunroof. The front portion will open, and yes, there is a power shade that can be drawn to decrease the amount of light coming into the interior. Via this lever right here, you can lower the seat back or recline this. This area does recline. In fact, let me do that for you real quick. Let's see if I can do that one-handed. It actually has quite a bit of recline built into it. I don't know how well you can see that, but there that is. Now, we're going to put that back in its place, and right here, I am a little surprised that there's not a power feature to move these seats out of the way, but in some ways, maybe that's a better thing that it's manual because it's much quicker and very easy to deal with. The thing I like about this is that you have a very large opening right here. That's a good thing. So you can see that. I'm going to go ahead and hop in. It's very easy to do that, as you can see right there. The seats are all the way back here. So look at how much leg space I have. Now, the one thing is that my legs are a little bit higher up because the floor is kind of high, so just one of those things. But if the middle row passengers are okay with moving forward a little bit, well, they can do that. And there's a little bit more leg space to stretch out some. It's not a lot, but it is here. I do like that. And we'll find a couple of USB options right here in addition to a cup holder. And normally I like to talk about how I like the roof mounted air conditioning vents. I think Jeep has the market cornered where this is concerned. That is the ideal spot in my personal opinion, because it's pretty much going to be angled right at the passenger, right where it needs to go. When it's really hot or really cold outside and they want that air blowing on them, it doesn't have to travel very far. And so I think that's a good thing. And getting back out of this rear seat area is just as simple, because all you have to do is do this and you can get the seat up and out of the way. And one more thing I wanted to talk about concerning the rear seats. There's actually another way to lower the seat backs. You see those buttons right there? They're not only over there on the driver's side, they're also here on the passenger side. And so you push those buttons and it lowers the seats down, at least one side, and then we can push the other button and lower that seat down as well. And then obviously when we want to bring them back up, we can do that with one touch of the button. I really like that. There are some full-size SUVs on the market out there where you have to hold the buttons down in the rear area to get the power seats to lower and go back up in place. If you let go of the button at any point, they stop moving. So I like it anytime, no matter the size of the SUV, that you don't have to worry about that. There is how it looks when you draw the shade forward to cover the panoramic sunroof. Let's see what else your rear seat passengers, or I should say middle seat passengers, will find. Now, there are 4 zones of climate control in this Grand Cherokee L. So we have 2 in the front, 2 in the rear. Everything can be controlled right here via the command center as far as the temperature, the fan speed. The middle row seats are heated. Now, the rear seats, that 3rd row back there, is not. But in case you were curious, there is what you have where that is concerned. And we have some USB connectivity down there as well. We'll have a 115 volt or 150 watt power outlet, and obviously some more air conditioning vents right here. And then you'll also have air conditioning vents located on the door pillar area right there on each side. A little bit of space with the rear seat pockets. And something that's a little different here, more of a traditional console that basically matches what we have in the front seat area. That doubles as an armrest. And I like this design because most center consoles in the rear area, it's typically just not a center console, it's just a fold-down armrest with the cup holders built in, such as we have right here. If there's a cup in each cup holder here, your rear seat or middle seat passengers can still use this as an armrest. That's nice. Now, you might think when you look in there at first, wow, that's not as much space as I was expecting. Well, it probably is now. So there's what you're going to have, the additional space. This tray is obviously removable or can just be left out depending on what everybody wants. A little bit of additional storage space located right here in this front area. That's actually a lot deeper than I may be able to show on camera. But the main thing that I know a lot of you want to know about is that front seat area. Let's hop up there and take a look. So if you're wondering what the sticker price is on this Jeep Grand Cherokee L, $75,725. You better have a lot more features for that price, right? Let's see what else you get. Lots of space with the door bin down there, plenty of room with the armrest, and something you don't see in a lot of vehicles, seat memory on the passenger side. Now that 1, 2, and 3 obviously is the seat memory. What about that button above that? That is the button for the massage function. Now, the thing about the massage function on these front seats is that it's only the seat backs. It's not in the seat cushion. In fact, when I push the button on the driver's side, you can see what comes up and it shows you that you only have it in the seat back. But it does work very well. Makes me nice and happy because my back is a little bit sore, so that's a good thing. Something else that's good to know on the passenger side, obviously both seats are power adjustable. They both have lumbar support and they both raise and lower. So that's always a good thing to know. I know a lot of people like to know about that. Let's see what else you get. 1 touch down and 1 touch up at all 4 doors for your power windows. And you pretty much know everything else that's going to be here. Here's your control for your headlights. You can turn those on, off, or to auto. And the control right here, you have a power adjustable steering wheel. It's tilt and telescopically adjustable. How about your instrument cluster, your driver's display, your instrument display, whatever you want to call that? Well, here it is. And there are quite a few different things you can go through depending on what you want to know about and what you want to see. So you can change things up as far as this goes. So we're going to be able to go through a lot of different information on the vehicle, or you can just have your gauges right there depending on what you want to see. And I'll try and get rid of that glare as best as I can. I apologize for that, just kind of the angle today. This is the best I could find, but I wanted to show you what all is here. There are your gauges as far as your tachometer on the left and your speedometer on the right. Kind of interesting that some vehicles have a digital and an analog speedometer. I don't know why that is, but it is. There are the shifter paddles, so you can work your way back and forth through the 8-speed automatic transmission. And right below those, let's see if I can show you the controls for the radio and the volume. So if you need to use that, that's very easy to deal with. And right above the infotainment screen, we're going to find several one-touch features, depending on what you're looking for, especially for those of you who want to turn the auto stop start off. There you go. You can do it right there, or you can turn it on if you like that. That just depends on your preference. There is the button for your hazard lights if you need that. Now, let's talk a little bit about the infotainment screen. There is quite a bit going on here, but to me, I don't think it's all that complicated. Here's one thing that I know a lot of people like to know about. Does it have built-in navigation? Yes, it does, as you can see, but you can still pair your smartphone and you can use whatever app you want to there as well. So we have everything here we can go through media, we can go through comfort right here if we want to. While you can adjust everything to do with comfort on the screen. The good news is that you do have physical controls down here. Over here is going to be the fan speed in the middle, and obviously the dual zone climate control right here as far as changing the temperature. You'll actually see the temperature change on the screen right there. So just so you know, you can see what all is there. And then down here on the bottom, everything for phone. You can go to vehicle and see what's here as far as that goes. And if you want to go in and see some of your different features and functionality for the camera, you can do that nice and bright. Tell me what you think. The one thing that I think would be better, at least in my personal opinion, is instead of having it angled back as it is, maybe have it at more of a 90-degree angle, but I don't know, maybe it's not a big deal. We'll find out more on the test drive, especially if I was to open the panoramic sunroof, then we could really tell. And we'll go back right here to apps. And there's a lot going on here. You can see over here on the left-hand side that you have media, comfort, nav, and phone. Easy to deal with. Now you have all right here, so you can go through all of your different icons and the features that are associated with those. You also have your favorites. So depending on what you use most, you can bring those into favorites. That's easy to deal with. A pretty simple system. Now I'm going to go into reverse and show you the multiple camera views. We have our overhead view that always makes things nice and easy to deal with because you can see everything that's going on around you. We'll go to our backup camera. You really already saw that. There is the front view camera, and the front view camera with the overhead view. And then there is another view that we've already seen. So a lot going on where that's concerned. One thing that's interesting here, I'm curious to know what you think. What do you think about this style of shifter? It's a rotary dial gear selector, basically, or shifter. We have everything there that you expect to see, pretty easy to deal with. And then we also have our drive modes, and you can see what your drive modes are right there. So pretty easy to figure that one out. Rock, sand and mud, snow, auto, and sport. And then when you change that, you'll also see some things happen on the instrument display, the driver's display right there. We'll let you see what's going on where that is concerned. So kind of nice to see what's going on. And you can raise and lower the height of the vehicle. So if you want to do that, see how I'm doing that right there? So that's what I'm doing. We can raise and lower things depending on our situation. Makes things a lot easier to deal with. And we'll also have quite a bit going on here with our connectivity options. You can see you also have an HDMI in addition to your USB options right there, and another handy dandy 12-volt power outlet. The 12-volt power outlets are very useful. I didn't realize how much I needed that until I bought a new vehicle back in the month of May and found out that it didn't have one and I needed it. So I bought a USB to 12-volt adapter. That took care of that problem. And we'll find a few other things here. If you're going to go into four-wheel drive right here, we can do that. That's pretty easy to deal with. And then we also have our cup holders there and the center console, a little larger than what we saw in the rear. Now that doesn't move the same way. This doesn't come out the same way, but that doesn't mean that's all the space you have. You just have two different releases to open that area. And we'll take a quick look here at our upper console. Hopefully the light cooperates. It looks like it will, and you can see what all is there. If you're curious to know about ride height, I showed you the adjustment on the interior. There is what the ride height looks like in its highest setting, and there is how it looks when you lower it all the way down. And let's talk about driving the Grand Cherokee L. The ride quality is good, and I like the way the seats feel. Now, I haven't had a lot of time in these seats, so it's hard to say how that may work out long term. Maybe somebody can share that down in the comment section if you have a Grand Cherokee L, maybe this Summit Edition or trim level, and you can tell us what it's like on a longer road trip. And one thing that I forgot to mention earlier in the video is the fact that there is a head-up display here. There's so much going on here that I almost forgot something very important. Well, it's here. I know I didn't show that. You might have caught a glimpse of that earlier in the video. I don't know how well my camera picked that up, but it is here. And there's just so much going on here. I couldn't cover every single little feature. But overall, I'm very comfortable. I feel like I have a lot of room to grow, so to speak. So somebody who is taller than I am, I'm 5'10", somebody who's in excess of 6 feet tall should be fine. They should be able to adjust everything to where they want it to be. I do have the seat set at its lowest position, but I can raise that up quite a bit if I need to. So if you're the other way, you're below 5'10" by quite a bit, well, obviously you can fix that problem too. I did mention that earlier in the video. Everything's easy to get to. I like that. It's not something you have to reach real far for. You can remember, you just memorize where the buttons are up here, and it's easy to know what you need to use right there without even looking. That's always a nice thing to have. Easy to see out of as well. Something about having the nice tall windows like this, that always makes a difference. So a lot going on that I think is in favor here. The acceleration seems to be good. It just depends on what it is you're looking for. Obviously, at the moment, I can't really demonstrate that because I have somebody in front of me pulling a trailer, but it looks like he's getting ready to turn. Well, and then somebody else is going to turn out in front of us. Maybe they'll step on their loud pedal and get down the road. We'll see what happens. Then again, maybe not. But I can tell you that the acceleration with this 3.6 liter is good. It definitely gets down the road with no problems. If you live in a city where you have to deal with a lot of fast moving traffic in your commute or just driving around town, this is going to be a good vehicle for you. Make sure you have that 3.6 liter under the hood. 295 horsepower seems to do very well. I think there's a lot of pluses when it comes to this model. And there you go. Those are the particulars on the 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee L Summit Reserve. Tell me what you think. I do want to say a special thanks to my friends at the dealership here at Landers for loaning me this Jeep Grand Cherokee for the day, and a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button. That helps me out. Make sure to share the video. And if you haven't subscribed just yet, make sure you do that. That way you don't miss any future videos. If you'd like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I'll see you there.